This morning,
Yes,
Marty.
good morning, Scott.
G'day, guys. First time I think I've come in after a loss.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I
It's all
know.
doom and gloom. No, not really.
Nah, it's not doom and gloom.
We're
Not when
mature
you're
enough.
here.
I did speak to some opposition after the game, so I was mindful not to smile or laugh.
No.
Yeah,
well
well done. You understand the
I know
brief.
how it works.
No enjoying fellows' companies
No.
post-match. Mate, just while you're here, front page of the Herald Sun this morning is Lumumba continuing to suggest that this truth-telling process he's going through with the club is not what he's hoping it would be. It does seem as though stuff's leaking from his side of the camp. Nathan Buckley said that none of that has appeared at the club as far as he's aware. To assure the Collingwood members and supporters that there is a process in place to improve, to keep working on improving culture around the joint, are you feeling as though that's taking place?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we got an update not long ago about the Do Better report. We've got a Do Better working group, so that group would be across it a lot more than I am. But yeah, as I'm comfortable with how the club's handling it and what they're trying to do. And I haven't seen the paper today. I've been up with my young son since 6:30. His birthday in 6 days. So
What, he's
super
really already
excited.
he's already primed?
He's 6 days. He's got his presents list.
Oh, wow.
Knows what he wants. Yeah.
Does feel
so
a
he's super pumped.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm sure that there's things happening behind the scenes that we never know about, but there's stuff that leaks out of football clubs. I'm amazed. Right across the board, how much stuff comes in and out of football clubs, and where these guys get their stories, and who they're picking out of the herd, and whoever it is at Collingwood, and I don't just mean Collingwood, I mean across the board at these football clubs that leak stories to the media.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it always gets out. So I think that's even like the things with dealing with incidents in the past. You learn very quickly is just the truth's going to get out. So you may as well give it to the club first and then let us deal with the facts. So then when it does come out, you don't sort of get red-faced. And we had the one come out about us, the leadership group, having a chat to Jack Ginnivan about having a few beers. And we were across it. We were fine. We dealt with the matter, and it wasn't really even a matter, but then it sort of gets blown up that because someone found it and this is this story that no one was like, we dealt with it. We didn't really care if it got out or not.
Because the
Ideally, we
issue
don't
for
want to
him
get out.
was you've got a team rule that you don't drink
6-day
with a
break.
6-day turnaround.
But we completely understood. Like,
He's
what
a
is
young
it?
bloke,
19-year-old
19.
kids just won the Anzac Day medal, went out and had a couple of beers,
And it was literally a couple of beers.
a couple of beers, and we just said, we want you to think of the next 14 weeks, 15 weeks. Let's get through the season. But we realised he's a human being. It wasn't like we've got a hard and fast rule. We're going to whack you with a thing across the head. It's just it gets out. And it's amazing how they always find a way to get out.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? They're pretty, Oh, anyway, look, let's move on. That'll resolve itself, and there'll be far greater minds at work than mine trying to sort through that because it's been a balls up, it has to be said, from lots of different departments. Richmond Collingwood, 17-11, 113, 12-14, 86. How did it feel?
It sort of felt like they were in control of our game most of the day. They're a great side. They play a really exciting attacking brand of footy. I think it must be said it was great to have Dustin Martin back playing. And
Do you get a bit caught up in that? Do you look at him and think, oh, he's going all right?
No, not really, but I think it was just, you can hear the crowd. They, really rose every time you got near the footy and things like that. But I think it's just great for our game to have our best players playing the game of footy. He's obviously gone through a really tough time. It was great to see him with a smile on his face playing the game he loves. And it was unfortunate he had to come back against us. It would have been nice if it took one more week. But it is. You always want to play against the best players. And he sort of picked up from where he left off.
It feels like your trajectory was like that, and as you say, it's the first time we've had you in when you've had a loss. But is it sort of just the nature of the game that it's hard to stay up and up and up week in and week out?
Yeah, that was probably our flattest performance for the year. I reckon most games we've displayed the style of footy we want to play, and on the weekend Richmond probably took that away from us. Unless you're Melbourne at the moment, everyone's experienced a loss this year, and it's the ebbs and flows, and it's not getting too high when you're winning, too low when you're losing, and it's about just keep on working, keep tipping in, because you just at some point you want to try and get on a roll and get some wins and get some confidence, and who knows where that leaves you in the back half of the year.
Marty, Scott Pendlebury with us here this morning.
And it's a pleasure to have Scott in the studio with us. Before we talk about Robbo, anything catch your eye from the weekend? Any games that you were surprised by? Or
No, I watched the Essendon Hawthorn game after our game because it was on that night. And,
Bombers did well.
It was almost like that game where they found a way to win. It wasn't pretty for 3 quarters. Then, I don't know, something clicked for them in the last quarter. I think they kicked 8 goals. And, it's always nice when you see a side under that much pressure, which they've been, to find a way to win. And you just see the emotion at the end of the game. It was just such a relief for them to almost get that monkey off the back a bit.
And to lose all those players pre-game would have been...
Yeah, they lose? 5 or 6 guys.
Have you experienced something like that before?
No, never. Not like that. Not on game. That sounded like it was pretty late.
Yeah.
On the piece, didn't it? Like Saturday afternoon.
Within a few hours.
Yeah, and then it sort of just shows if you're all buying into the same thing, it doesn't really matter who's out there. So collective spirit and will and want.
And clear roles.
Clear roles, everyone doing their bit. And they find a way to win. It was it was a really good last quarter to watch.
Carlton in the top 4. Loz's Carlton. She loves Carlton.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I just don't know. Are Carlton overachieving?
No, I think they're they have 70-something inside 50s yesterday.
Yeah.
71, 73. If you give Charlie Curnow and Harry McKay that many chances, they're going to kick a bag between, I think they kicked 9 or 10 yesterday. So
one day our day is going to come. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's a lot closer than it was a couple of years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, and all you can do is win, and that's what they're doing. So putting the wins on the board.
Brisbane, West Coast, I thought it was going to be an absolute bloodbath, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But Will assures me that was because of the weather up there.
Yeah, it was very wet and slippery.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Yeah, it's a nightmare place to play Brisbane when it's that wet and slippery. So,
and you'd have to say
75 points is still a fair.
Yeah.
It's a fair shellacking, but you'd have to say North putting 24 on the board was solid. I mean, there's no other way to look at that.
I actually didn't realise that game was on. Friday night. And
that is
that is brutal.
It's a little bit of disrespect.
That is brutal.
Because when you look at the fixture, you always see the first game and then the second game you think Saturday. So I thought they were 2:10 Saturday.
No, it's
I just watched the Port Adelaide Bulldogs game.
Yeah.
It was a sneaky second Friday night game.
Yeah. I didn't see
That was the 7-1. It's a rare Friday double.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a double header because I got to the ground and Fremantle North was on, and I was like, "What time did they start? 11 a.m. or something?" And they're like, "No, this is last night.
This is a morning game."
I've literally missed that. Yeah.
Well, you'd have to say that 3-6-24. I think North would be happy with that. You know, they were hoping to score.
So
they were hoping.
Happy.
They were hoping to score 30 points. We were 6 short. Let's talk about Robbo in the Herald Sun. The AFL. This is a quote from Mark Robinson. The AFL is asking for billions and will get them. The players will ask for $1 billion and will get it, paid by TV rights, and yet Fox Footy asks for 2 minutes with Dusty and gets told no. You can understand why Martin would avoid a lengthy sit-down interview, but surely there are obligations to the broadcaster and the game. Is talking to the media an obligation for an AFL footballer?
Well, I've seen a lot of guys post-game say no, for whatever reason that is, and I would say probably most weeks Dusty would get asked, and I think coming back, there would have been a lot of emotion for him. I'd be surprised if the Richmond media team probably didn't even word up Fox before the game and say, like, just leave him alone today. It's big enough for him to come back, and no doubt he'll do it in the future, but there's just probably so much on his plate. He just wanted to get back and play. And
he's not a big chatter at the best
I was going to say, I reckon the only times I've heard him speak on ground is when he's one of Norm Smith, because he sort of has to. It's one of those ones, as I said, he had so much, and I know he doesn't like it to be about him, and it's sort of the game was about his first game back, and even his first goal was sort of celebrated like his first ever goal and things like that. So I can understand both sides of it. Obviously, everyone wants to hear from Dusty, but on that occasion, I probably get that he wanted some space and just to process it all.
Because it's a bit like Osaka.
Naomi Osaka, yeah.
Remember she pulled it. What did she pull out?
She wanted to do no press conferences after games.
That's right. And it was like the end of the world when she said that.
Yeah, it's sort of, I feel like that's a bit different though, because it's individual sport.
Yeah,
it's a part of what
that's
they
right.
have to do. It's not like a part of what we do is every week you hear from the captain speak after the game or the best player speak. It's always mixed and matched. And but yeah, I remember there was a massive uproar. She was getting fined every time post game, wasn't she, about it? So.
Well, I think the similarity was that they were both having mental health issues. Now, I don't know what Dusty's or her mental health issues are, but when you say to a collective, listen, I've had a rough time, I think that buys you some space personally so that things aren't an obligation.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I think the football club would look after you in that regard and word up Fox about, can you leave, Dustin or player X alone today? Like, just he needs some space. So yeah, I'd find it fascinating if Richmond didn't do that pre-game to Fox, and then it's up to Fox whether they want to sort of respect that or not.
Whether they want to try it on.
Yeah.
Who are you got next week? It's just at the bottom of the list there. I can't quite see it.
We have
Bulldogs.
Friday night football v the Bulldogs. That'll be a belter.
There you go. It's good that I checked that. I
haven't had a chance to do the video work yet.
It will be good. I think they're 10th, we're 9th. So
that's going to be a great game.
The classic 8-point game.
Yeah,
I'm still yet to win an 8-point game and get 8 points, but one day. Looking forward. We haven't played Friday night for a while. I think round 1 we played a Friday night, so looking forward to that.
Well done, mate. Best of luck.
Yeah,
Cheers. Thanks,
chat to you
guys.
next week. Scott Pendlebury on the Marty Sheargold Show.